on my doggone device, and it showed that it was not recording anything. It said it was going live, but I did not see it. So we're gonna try it again, okay? And this is called um, Tables Have Turned, okay? Um, and I just want to give y'all some insight on about when the tables have turned, okay? Um, the reason why I talk about when the tables have turned is basically because it's something that we all go through. Okay, this is something that we all go through in self-development. One of the best slogans and the sayings that I live by is that let people laugh at you now so that you can laugh at them later. Um, or that you can laugh later. You don't really have to laugh at them, but sometimes you do. Um, and the reason why I say this is because um, I truly believe that anybody can change their lives, um, and you can transfer your life within 6 months to a year, physically, mentally. Yeah, a lot of things can be changed if you have diligence and you have focus. And so it's all up to your perception and what you truly believe in, okay? We find out what we believe in not by what we say, but by our actions, okay? Common psychology. Common psychology, okay? We learn people by what? Not by what they say, but by their actions, okay? By their actions. You can see what they think. You can see what they intend to think, but you can really see what they're thinking by their actions. Um, Prime example, you can see if someone had trauma in their life and it's really some heavy trauma by how they live, how they clean up how their house is. Um and I can attest to this, okay? Um when I got when I was 18, I was S8, okay? By someone that I did not know. It was on the 4th of July, okay? Um after that, after that, I noticed that um although I was functioning, I was going to work, I was going to school, some of my habits retract. I was a little bit fearful of things, and not only that, we tend to gather and cluster a lot of things together. It was almost like a hoarding kind of situation. So it was a lot of things clustered in. Okay, when I say clustered, I mean clustered. I was just so nervous. Oh, I have to have this to protect myself. I have to, door barricading sometimes. Um, a lot of those things. I witnessed and I went through. I just started doing that. Okay, um, that is a sign of trauma. That is a sign of trauma. People think that a lot of people, when you see them with a lot of junk in their cars or things like that, especially the homeless, you think that this person is an unkept person. You think that they are um, not tidy. That can be farthest from the case. It could be trauma. Okay, trauma. It can also be another form of like attention deficit disorder. When people of higher intelligence tend to have messier homes. They tend to have messier places unless they get help from other people, because their mind is always going in different avenues, different directions. So that is prime example of perception. So anywho, I wanted to talk about this when the tables are turned, because you will see that in life you will come across people who believe in you, people who don't believe you. You'll have people who will flip, you know. They believed in you at one time, or they liked you at one time, and the next minute they don't, you know. And that can really harm you psychologically if you haven't had any time to train mentally about relationships. A lot of people don't talk about relationships. A lot of people don't go to church to even learn stuff about biblically about relationships like that. So they really don't know how to harness it and how to use the energy and to use what they have to make it a better situation and to work on themselves and how to deal and to cope with some of those skills. Not only that, they don't teach relationships because they don't teach courting in school anymore. They don't teach that, you know. As a matter of fact, like the dances, you know, how to introduce, how to ask someone on a date, those etiquette things. They're all out of the school corporation, public and private, and yeah, you don't get to do that. Not only that, don't tell you a lot about business, you know, true business. People will get upset about, you know, people denying them for things, and it's like, well, it might be you're not qualified, maybe you're not, you know, or if you're qualified, how to get around that, you know, because it's gonna happen, okay. And so um Fort Wayne Pride this weekend, okay. And so I decided that I needed to make this video to give a little insight on when the tables turn, okay? Because I will tell you this, when people like you, that's on any kind of level. If they liked you as a job, they liked you as a friend, they liked you as one of their favorite relatives, things like that. They liked you for a certain reason, okay? When they don't like you, when they change their mind, it's something that made them change their mind, okay? All right, we get that, right? But you also have to remember there was always something, that brought them there to you, okay? And that did not change, okay? Now, sometimes it changed because it never was there. You know, have you ever had some relationship you're like, okay, this person is very, you know, understanding and very kind-hearted, and then you find out this person is not nice and kind-hearted. They're very manipulative, and what they were doing was acting as if they were kind-hearted, but they were being very manipulative, taking the information that you had, twisting it around, and causing dissension and separation in your life or in the workplace or in your romantic life. That's different, okay? But if you had a quality that was true and that person liked, okay, and then they ghosted you or they gave you some time and they give you some time away, understand that you have the power to go back into that dynamic if you want to. If you want to, okay? I'm going to start off by saying this. Now, all relationships that you went through are necessary for you to go back to, male or female. It's not necessary, meaning that the time and the place was necessary during that time and phase of your life, and it no longer serves you purpose, okay, to further your life, okay. It no longer serves you purpose. So with that being said, if this relationship did serve a purpose, you want that connection back, you've work on yourself, okay? Because I will guarantee you that the people that discarded you or let you go or did anything like that, they felt like you were not enough of what they were looking for, okay? Whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, okay? Especially relationships, intimate relationships, they thought that they could do better, okay? People who don't want to feel that, they don't want to believe that, but if you did things right and you weren't disrespectful, you weren't rude to them, you weren't taking them for granted, it's letting you know that they thought that they could do better, okay? And most of the times they're with somebody else who they think is better than you. That's even in a work dynamic, okay? I had this happen to me at work twice at a job that I work at twice. Okay, two separate jobs, but happened twice. Okay, so what I'm gonna tell you is to work on yourself. I don't give a care if you got set up. If some work on yourself. If somebody's doing anything, they doing manipulation tricks. Work on yourself. Okay, use that time to get yourself right. Okay, when I say right, get your mind right, your body right. Some of y'all need to get your body right. And when I say body right, I'm not saying necessarily go and get the little clip. Work on yourself. Be healthy. Get them endorphins in your system. Walk. You see me walking right now? Doing my little 10-mile challenge. So walk. Get your time in. Okay? That time you getting time to think, you getting clarity, you getting all types of stuff. Okay? Work on yourself. Read a book. Learn a new class. Get a new hobby. Get a degree. Work on getting a degree. Finish up your degree. Do some things that you wanted to do that you couldn't do when you was there, when you was at that job, or when you was with that person. Okay? That's gonna make the difference. Okay? If that person or that job see you years later and they come and they say, okay, I remember this, and they did this, they did that, they did this, they did that, and you still at the same spot, then in their head they thinking that they made the right decision by letting you go. You know, especially a job would do that for real. You ain't worked this 3 years, now you ain't even worked to go get your degree. You was a junior executive when we got you. You went off somewhere, or we let you go, and 3 years later you still ain't got no certifications, no qualifications. You ain't went back to school, you ain't further nothing, you ain't got no certificate, nothing else that you can add. Then we know that you stagnant. You already dead right there. That's dead weight. Okay? Alright, understand that this world constantly moves. I don't give a care what kind of pain you having. You know, I learned that very hard. When I was wounded, the world did not stop for me. The world did not stop. And it won't stop for you either. It won't stop for you either, okay? So, boom. Work on yourself. If it's a relationship, I promise you, I can guarantee you 7% of them people who ghosted you, especially if they ghosted you. If somebody fired you and just they ain't had no reason, they did some foul stuff, I promise, work on yourself. You're going to end up getting a better job. You're going to end up looking sparkly bright, and they're going to be trying to come back, especially if it's something that they need. You get them certifications. When they come back, shoot, when they come back, you better make sure that they double or they triple your salary. And that's exactly what I did. And then I left. I really gave in to one of them jobs. I really worked really, really hard. But I know this dynamic. And people don't talk about the law of attraction that way. They don't talk about that. The law of energy and power. You giving your energy and your space and your time to people, and you feeding into them, and they draining you, or they taking you for granted. And then they try to throw you away as if you don't, because you don't serve a purpose to them. They don't think you serve a purpose to them. Okay? And it's for relationships too. When people do that to you, they figure in their head that they can do better. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with doing better. If someone, if you're in a relationship, you're supposed to look for the best candidate anyway. For me, I always try to look for the best person for me. But I would say the best person. I used to say the best person for me, but to be honest, I didn't look for the best person for me. I went for the best person that had that compromised, that everything that was balanced. It probably wasn't the overall best, but that was the person that I was into. And that was the person that I was with the longest. That gave me more of the time. But honestly, in reality, that wasn't my best suitor. That person just gave off that illusion, and we had time. Time will so don't get tricked off about time too. Time will make you feel that way. But I will tell you, time will help you. Time will heal, and time will let you see. So yeah, work on yourself. Work on you as a brand. Work on how you represent yourself in the world. Get yourself more spiritually inclined. Work on your fitness. Work on All of that stuff can help. All of that stuff is gonna help because it's gonna go tied in. Put yourself, once you start doing it, you're gonna start seeing situations change. You're gonna look at that breakup as something different. You don't look at it as a sad thing anymore. You see that it could be bittersweet, or sometimes even better. You know, because now it gave you time to take that energy that you was giving to somebody else, that you was feeding and giving life to somebody else, and you took it and you fed within. You fed yourself from within. Okay, and God tells us a lot about self-preservation. He tells us a lot about self-preservation. Okay, just like Ayana, some of the stuff I don't agree with what she says, like especially with relationship. But all the other stuff I do agree with. But relationship, I'm not taking no relationship advice for somebody who had a lot of struggles, and still has struggles with it. So, but anywho, that's a bike. And so, what she said was, my cup runneth over. You know, my cup runneth over first, meaning that I have to be full first. I have to be full first before I try to fill up your cup. Because if my cup is just full and I fill up your cup, then now my cup half empty, and your cup is half full, and you got more than what I have, and now I gotta still try to fill up your cup when your cup, and you're not even replenishing what's in your cup. You just trying to get filled up from what I have, you know, and you'll see that dynamic. When people pull away, sometimes they feel, I'm going to be honest, they feel like they have more than you. They might not say it. They might not say it, especially if they didn't tell you. Now, if they told you, okay, well, I think this is not going anywhere. Some people wait to the last minute to tell you anyway and act like it's very authentic and very noble of them to tell you that, they don't think it's going nowhere after they done cheated on you, after they done ran on you, after they done did all this crazy stuff. But what I'm saying is, and even then, they thought that they was this way and you was this way. When y'all started out this way, they felt that you was equal or even above. And then they started dwindling down because now you're giving them love, and they already know, they feel like they're not deserving of it because they're not giving you full attention. But you're constantly giving them that high impact commitment, right? So boom. And thank y'all for being live with me, y'all. So boom. Yeah, you're gonna have that. You're gonna see that. And what you're gonna do, like I said, you're gonna work on yourself. You're going to work on yourself like none other. Okay? And all that energy that they felt, that, those endorphins that you were giving, that you were encouraging them and promoting them when they felt like they were at their saddest, and someone was intentionally trying to use your good energy, your good vibes, they're gonna feel it, okay? They're gonna feel it. They was with you because they felt that, okay? But you take that and you work on yourself. And after they feel like they had a break from you, which they usually do, they feel like they good, they feel like everything is good, you're not going to hear from them for about a couple of weeks, okay? Then they're going to try to swoop around because now it's crashing. Okay? And let me tell you another thing why you should step back. Do not call these people because they didn't call you. It's a form of disrespect. It's a form of manipulation, and it's a form of disrespect. Okay, whether they intended to do it or not, and I will honestly say they probably didn't intentionally try to hurt you, but they intentionally was trying to separate themselves from you. They intentionally made the decision to not tell you, to be upfront and to tell you what was going on. Okay, especially when it's dealing with a man, y'all. Men are very, when they say they're straightforward, just like they go into the store. Most men will not be alone. Most. Very rare. Very rare. Especially when they're with that cutoff game. If they got that cutoff game, it's down to the point they done already scoped out somebody else and found it out. And started seeing this person is giving them, what you're not giving them. What they don't realize for the most part is that when they're dealing with that issue like that, it's usually, even in a work relationship, it's 20-80. It's a 20-80 rule. They're thinking that they're getting what they're missing, but it's only 20%. It's only 20%. Okay? And so, Now after the endorphins and all the rush, the adrenaline rush then came down, they done dogged you out, like, you not doing this, you that, you this and you that, and all of that other good stuff. Then they start coming to realize, they start looking at that person and, oh, this person don't look so great. You know, yeah, this person look plop, 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 ta-dow, ta-dow. But this person ain't don't want to motivate me. This person motivates nobody but themselves. You know, they not trying to do no teamwork. They about themselves. Some of the things, and it will give them a reality check, because, and a lot of them need to have it. And this is for men and women. Okay, I've seen women do this too. This is just men and women. Okay, they will have a reality check because that person is thinking about things for them. They're not giving them that attention. They're not giving them what you was giving them. And to be honest, sometimes when they look at it, they understand that what they was given, what that person is giving them, is actually what they deserve. And what you was giving them was a blessing, was more than a blessing. So now they like, dang, I done messed up. So this is when you're going to start seeing. I don't think I should go and walk on there. Maybe. This is when you're going to start seeing. You're going to start seeing them come around. You're going to start seeing them, hey, how you doing? You know, those kind of things. Now, if you don't want to have nothing to do with them, feel free to not answer. Feel free to not answer. I'm not in control of nothing like that. I'm not in control. Even a job. I've had a job do that. I mean, downright, I almost got, let me tell y'all about this job. I'm going to tell y'all about this job, how it happened, and why I say what I say, okay? I almost got arrested at this job. It was a facility for developmental people with developmental disabilities, right? And so at that time, I was not a house manager then. I was just the person that was working there. But I had been a house manager at another facility before, and that's how I ended up getting hired over there for more money, because somebody knew who I was. I had worked with one of their clients, and they liked the progress that I had with the clients because of the system that I had. And so, I ended up going. Oh Lord. I ended up going and having this. I had this discussion with someone who was the house manager at this place, and I had an issue with them because they did not do the inventory for the money correctly. And you have to turn in your receipts every month to show what is being spent in the house, what the client is using, what they need. You have to have an inventory of that. Because if not, you can be charged with elder abuse, a lot of that stuff. And so, because I was one of the few people that was standing up for it, and I noticed that really well off. So what I started doing was documenting. I knew that person had a lot of people who were in that corner. So my thing was, the best thing for me to do is document. Okay, so I documented. Okay, I documented. And so I remember going into the office because they were already trying to plan this group to get me out of the house, because I was revealing a lot of stuff that was going in there, and it was not going well. So these people chewed me out, didn't even try to investigate like they were supposed to, and gave me the boot. Not only that, they told me they were going to seek charges. Okay, so I'm like, okay, fine. At this point, I prayed about it. I kept going. Not only that, I kept working on what I was doing. Did I go to another facility? Yes, I did. Did I get another job really quick? Yes, I did. Okay, I really did. And I got more money. Okay, so after they did their investment, let me tell you, after they did their investment, they found out that I was not guilty of any of that, and they found out what was really going on. Okay, because God don't like ugly. Okay, took 6 months, but it happened. Okay, took 6 months, but it happened, and it worked out. Okay, and so after that, I ended up getting a call back, and they're like, "Hey, how you doing?" Being so nice. "Hey, we just missed you here. We was wondering when you can start back. When can I start back? Wait a minute." And I just brought it to them. I thought you fired me. "No, no, we made a mistake. Blah blah this, blah blah that." They gave me a nice package to come back. Um, Let me tell y'all two of the reasons that I came back. One, because the client that I had already started a progress thing on it, a progress report on that person. And when you're dealing with people with developmental disabilities, especially with autism and things like that, they can get very nervous around different people. They like consistency. They like consistency. They like to not have a lot of changes. And so I knew that I had did a lot of work with this one client. I did not want that to go past. I know y'all are like, "Oh, it could have been another client," but when you're dealing with human nature and human people, you know that has a huge effect. So I made that decision to go back. Now, did I get more money? Yes. Was I still upset? Yes. But I fulfilled my duties, what I was supposed to do, and then I left. Okay. So I'm telling y'all, I've seen this professionally happen. I've seen this romantically happen. Okay. Um, they're going to call you. They're going to try to communicate. If they can't communicate to you physically, what they're going to do is try to get they're going to try to get someone else to communicate to you. Okay? They're going to try to get someone else to communicate to you. Okay? They're going to try to get information off of you from a third person. If y'all had people who had the you guys had the same what I say the same. You guys have the same friends, same coworkers. They'll try to get that information, and sometimes the coworkers that know what they be doing and are willing to be in it. Others are not. They just want to see the best, and they're thinking like, okay, well, they're gonna get together or things. They're not thinking that this person is just prying. But either way, you're not worried about that. You're working on being a better you. This is going to give you that opportunity to let you know that what you were doing when you was with that person that was so horrible, for the most part, was not the case. It was not the case, okay? And to not take it personal, because a lot of the things that we go through during relationships, like, I could have been better, I could have did this, I could have did that. Yes, there are some times when you could have. But for the most part, when you're dealing with people who don't know what they want, or it's a shocker to them, or they used to be around people who are manipulative, and you are a loving person and you're really open to them and you're giving them full control and access to you, they can feel like it is a threat, don't know how to handle it, and will abuse it. Okay? That's what it is. That's just like a 5-year-old trying to drive a car, okay? And if they don't understand that they don't have the mental capacity and they need to take things slow and to work up to it, they will crash. They will think that they have the room to do it and will crash the car. Okay? And so, yeah. Yeah, okay? So you want to keep that in mind. When you see that happen, you have a choice. You have the choice to say, yes, I want to be in this relationship, or no, I don't. But more often than not, we forget about what we have, the power that we have before, because we don't forgot. We usually forget that this person has ghosted you, or that job has ghosted you, and what they did, okay? And what they did, okay? And understand that when people don't think that they have consequences for their actions, they will continuously do things over and over and over again. When they have consequences and it takes a tougher time for them to get back in, then they will think about the next time that they want to do something that is not ethical. They're going to think twice about it, okay? That's what you want them to do. You want them to understand that there are consequences for their actions. There are consequences for their actions, okay? You're glad that they came back. You're glad that they have that they made the decision and found out that you were a better fit for them, or you was the best fit, or they want to give it another try, because once again, nobody's going to come back to you if they didn't think that you was the best fit, if they didn't think you were a better fit. Okay? So this is the perfect time to get up and say, okay, if you don't want to have anything to do with it, still tell them, I need some time. Take some couple of days, write down a whole list. Write down a list of all the things that from that relationship that they asked from you that they got, and the things that they asked for you that they didn't get. Okay? Also write in the relationship the things that you asked for and you got, and the things that you asked for and you never got. Okay? And you're gonna evaluate that. Not only that, you're gonna also you also gonna ask yourself, is this person teachable? I know this sound like, oh, well, you not no student, you not. Okay, when I say is that person teachable, meaning are they gonna be open to the things that you're saying that you need? Because learning other people and learning things that what other people want and need is a process. And how it's delivered makes a difference too. So you have to understand what a person needs, especially in a relationship. In a relationship, any kind of business, the same way. What do they want? How do they want it to be delivered? Okay? Because you can get something, they can want something, you can give it to them, and it's not how they want it delivered. And they don't accept it, they don't like it, or they don't can't respond to it because they can't see it. You know, they can't see it because they only know it from their perspective, how they told you or how they used to having it, you know. AKA love language. Okay? Learn people's love language, even if they are not romantically involved with you. Learn their love language. Okay? That's just like you touching someone whose love language is words of affirmation. They're gonna look at you like you are nuts. Okay? When I was having this, I was just like, my thing is quality time. And it changed because it used to be words of affirmation for a little bit, but if certain people it is words of affirmation. But it's definitely a split. It's quality time and touch. So people buying me gifts, yes, it's nice, but it's not gonna equate to me as much as someone giving that time. But mine's is split. Mine's a split. I think the one that has the least is I think my least was gifts. No, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's words of affirmation. Words of affirmation. Yeah. That's it. It used to be words of affirmation to be the loudest, but it's not anymore. And it's I don't know why it changed like years ago. I think I just started finding confidence in myself and listening to my gut and intuition and things, and that kind of, I appreciate people saying nice things, but at the same time I could do without it. Um, and so yeah, you want to make a list, and then you can go and see, and then tell that person. And how you're telling them, you're not gonna tell them vocally what you want, because obviously if you told them vocally already and they didn't get it, chances are it's gonna take them a harder time, or they just realize it. So have some patience with them, and they're gonna work on it. But most of the time it's not gonna work that way. You're gonna have to show it. You're gonna have to show it through your actions, meaning that when they don't follow through on things that you ask them to do, what are you going to do? What's going to be your response? What's going to be the consequence behind it? What's going to be the consequence behind it? And I know that might sound like, okay, these people are not a child. That's true. They're not a child, but you still have to have self-control and self-discipline. Self-control and discipline goes hand in hand. You cannot have discipline and without self-control. You can't have self-control without discipline. Well, you can't have discipline without self-control, but yeah, you can't have discipline without self-control, but you can't have self-control without discipline. Okay? Because I'll take that back. There's some people who don't have, well, they know how to use self-control, but they very much don't use it. They're just disciplined and doing other things. And understand this. People make time for what they want. People make time for what they want. I don't care if they say that they're busy. They doing whatever, okay? People make time for what they want. Now they might not be there at your beck and call every single day because they really do have a lot of things to do. But giving you a call and all that, doing all that stuff, if they was doing it before and it's been years, understand that was a decision. They made a decision to choose something else. Okay, to choose something else and to choose someone else. Okay, that's what we don't want to hear, especially women. We don't want to hear that. Let me tell you, 9.9 out of 10, if a man was talking to you every single day, even when he was busy, and all of a sudden he telling you he busy and he don't have time for you, walk away. Walk away. Okay? That means he has somebody else. He has somebody else. Okay? That's the same thing that goes with a female too, in intimate relationships too. Um, but sometimes it can be other things. But a man, no, it's it's not gonna roll like that. I told you. And men will usually find somebody. I don't know what's up. People talk about men being very open and what they consider desperate or people pleasing, but there are a lot of women who will break their backs and do some unethical things just to be with a person, you know, just because they want that love and that attention from somebody. Um, Prime example is what's that girl? Krishan and uh oh dude, the little rapper dude who I really don't think he can rap at all, but how he did to her, how he did to her. Okay, and then when the tables turned because she started acknowledging her worth, taking back her energy. Okay, and this is a prime example. I'm so glad because she's very, very young. He's very young too. Um, but she should have known that. Hey, he was disrespecting his mother, so that just should have gave you the inclination right there. But he would just dog her out, and she seemed like she got way more talent than him. And and went and got his old girlfriend that he been messing around with, and downplaying her. He's doing the same thing. Matter of fact, he's doing the girlfriend, the baby mama, worse than he doing that he used to do Krishan. Like he's doing her worse. You know, um, you're gonna start seeing it. But I guarantee you, give them a couple of months, that guy's gonna be trying to beg back for her, and she ain't gonna want to have it because she's really finding herself. She's really leveling up, and she's finding herself. Okay. And it works every single time. All that time she was pumping him up. She was motivating him. Other guys were talking about he was coward. She was ready to fight for him. Let me tell you. Listen. I want a broad like that on my team, okay? She got to be one of my friends or my cousins. She got to be like a little cousin or something. Like, that's who I want on my team. That or Solange, baby. Y'all be fanning them wacko tacos. Like, no. Give me somebody who gonna stand with me. But she really stood 10 toes down, 10 toes and fingers down, and now he's, trying to play as if he's doing something better. But everybody knows, his ego is hurt now. His ego is hurt because he thought that she was gonna come back like she usually do. They're gonna fight, they're gonna argue. But she started evolving. Things started changing. The tables have turned. Okay? Now she will have the opportunity because he's gonna come back. She will have the opportunity. She will have the opportunity because she's got the support. People are rooting for her. She's going to have the opportunity for him to try to come back. I just pray that she don't take him back. And she started looking at everything that went on. That she don't even take him back. Let him do what he needs to do for his duties as a parent. But self-development wise, he needed some help. And it's the same thing that y'all gonna deal with. It might have not been that tough. It might have not been that tough, somebody calling out your name, y'all fighting, it might have not been that way. With the last relationship that I was with, this person just literally just switched up, I also started seeing that, once where he would want to pay for things, he wanted me to do more. And which is, it's not, that part, I'm gonna say it's not a problem for people to pay for things, especially women to pay for things. But I already knew right there was a red flag because this person is very well off. So when a man is pulling their funds from you, they're giving you they're saying a lot about your respect, how they feel about you. So like I said, keep working on yourself. They're going to come back because it was always something that they really liked about you. If you know what it is, then you're at an advantage. You're at more of an advantage than anything. um, and you can give, like I said, give yourself some time. It's not about them anymore. It was about them. It was about y'all, about us. Even a job, it's about us. But when people disrespect you, understand, and they left you for gone. They left you for gone. They tried to fire you, or these people, friends, set you up, and they go with somebody else, and they talking all this stuff, and they come back. Understand it was a choice, and they can't come back easy. They can't come back easy. If you want to be with that person, tell them like, I think we should take it slow, and don't start them at ground zero. Ground zero is with somebody who don't know you, and they trying to get to know you, and they have all the stop signs. They knew you. They knew you, and they tried to play you as a dummy. So now you at -2, -5. And it is not about using people. It's not talking about using people. It's about respect. It is about respect, especially if you're dealing with a man. One thing about a man don't care about love. He don't care about none of that, okay? He cares about respect. So the mere fact that he took that time to disrespect you, I don't give a care if it's a man on a man or a man and a woman, okay? If that male took the time to disrespect you and not even tell you that they was with somebody else or they wanted to see somebody else and they ghost you and they come back, understand. Understand what it is. They felt like they can come back at you at any time. So even if you try, don't give them the benefit of the doubt, because once you try to give them the benefit of the doubt, you're gonna have the same. You're gonna have the same outcome. You're gonna have the same outcome, and they're gonna still try to do this dumb stuff that they've been doing. Okay, and you don't want to do that. Nobody wants to go through that. Nobody wants to go through that pain again. So you have to understand that you are a commodity too. So understand when they come back, you are just like a job. Okay, you put in his resume, live your life, and don't drop everything just because this person came back either. No, he had -2. So if you in the dating scene and this person come back and you wanted that person back, guess what? You in the dating scene. Okay, he can come back, but you in the dating scene, and that don't stop for him. Okay, because it stopped before. He made a decision that it wasn't it. Okay, so now he got to come a little bit harder. He got to come a little bit harder. And if you see them try to play the same game, cut it off immediately. If it's a male or a woman, they try to play that same game with you, cut it off. Cut it off. Cut it off. Okay? They trying to dominate again, and they trying to put you back in a little tube. They trying to put you off in a little tube. Cut it off. And keep working on yourself, because what they gonna find out, if they could find somebody better, they wouldn't have came back. But you working on yourself, most likely you gonna find somebody who this is the thing, and that's the thing they afraid of. You gonna find somebody who love you and care for you and respect you and got everything that they was hiding from you, all the good gifts, and they telling other people, well, maybe she is after my money. Let me tell you, because I had this happen to me, y'all. Maybe she is about my money. You find somebody who actually say, I don't give a rat's behind about it. You find somebody who loves you 12 times as much as that person who discarded you, who trying to come back. And you find out that you was missing out. The thing was, you should be grateful that that person came in and acted a fool, because you was missing out. You was missing out, holding out for them. Okay? I cannot explain or tell y'all how much like revelations I got from going through this and just experiencing it, and working, like I said, working on myself and getting things better. Because it's not just about you being with that person. It's about you being a better you and them being a better person. And even if they don't decide to be a better person, that's okay. But you choose to be a better person. And in order for you to be the best person that you possibly can be, you want to find the best person for you. person that's designed for you. And if that person is not it, even if you give them a try, you have the opportunity to say after you give them a try, don't feel obligated to be around to be with them either. After you give them a try, if it's not working, it's the same way. I don't think this gonna work, and let it be. And when I say cut it off, what you have to do is cut it off. You can't let stuff linger. I used to try, well, maybe it'll get better, or maybe I can be with this person, especially when I was in my user energy too. Maybe I could just win this, when I'm down and out, don't keep them people on the side. Let them go. Let them go. Okay? Let them go. If they find themselves, if they become better after you lead them, and after you find out that you don't want them and they become better, that's on them. That's on them. Congratulations. But it wasn't for you. It wasn't for you. But understand, them tables always turn. The tables always turn. The only time it doesn't turn is if you were the person that was very toxic and abusive. And even then, I've seen it happen when the person was toxic, or they had some issues, especially if they had like drug issues or something like that. And they might have been toxic as far as having the drugs, but the other person was toxic, putting them down and really discarding them. When they got back together to their feet, they didn't want to have nothing to do with that person. And everybody like, well, why you didn't? That person helped you. Oh, no, that person put me down the whole doggone time while I was there. This got me stuck. This didn't help. So I want to tell y'all that, like, I want to tell y'all that. Understand, it's about you getting better. You. If you having this situation, most of the time you had to be some kind of caretaker. You always had to go and try to fix stuff any doggone way. The goal is to understand that most people don't want to be fixed. Okay? And it is not up to you to fix nobody. That's God's job. You can assist people, but and you don't want to fix nobody in your life, because when you need help, they ain't going to be able to help you. They're not going to be able to help you. Okay? So, understand that. But like I said, the tables will always turn. They will always turn. They will always turn. Okay? And when I say always, trust me when I say they will always turn. Especially when you're working on yourself. Because the mind, and another thing, psychology, the mind works. It works on your brain. If you already been exposed to this person, and especially if y'all talking every day, y'all seeing each other every day, within 2 weeks of not seeing each other, this is why you going through this breakup part, and you going, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. And you want to call them and all that, when you should be pulling away. But it's your brain. It's the shock. They didn't get that shock because they didn't put somebody else. They didn't put somebody else in the mix. If they didn't have somebody in the mix, they will be reaching out more. They would be reaching out more. Even if they wanted to break up with you, they would still be reaching out more. Okay? Just understand how the brain works. I believe in God, but I also believe God created science, and it tells us a lot of stuff about how people work, how situations work, especially with humans, not just the organization, but how people work in an organization. You can also look at that. Look at a person's the endorphins. You're gonna look at a man's vasopressin. You're gonna look at why am I saying oxycodone? Uh, Oxytocin. Oxytocin's in a female. Guys do have oxytocin, but they use more vasopressin. Okay, they have vasopressin first before that. Okay, so even if a guy is not sure and you're being overwhelming to him, that emotional trigger is not going to register like a female. More females like the bonding when they cuddle and stuff like that, and they make them feel safe. A guy is going to repel first. So that's another reason why you shouldn't even try to force yourself. Give that person time to breathe, even if they doing the most, because they are. Usually they are. Now there are very few in between who really have their stuff together and they see stuff, but they are. Let me tell you, In a man, it's not gonna happen unless they have another notion of another person in their mind. Um, for instance, if you're dating someone and this person always had another person in their mind that they wanted to be around, so you're gonna play second fiddle to that person. Even if that person is not thinking about them, they gone on about their life. If they have that person in their head, that male is like stuck on I'm getting this person. You are temporarily, even though they see you and you doing all these nice things, and you might be what they want, as the attributes. When they see that you are the heck, they see that you are doing all the things that they want. It's gonna show a lot of confusion, but they're gonna separate, and then they're gonna try to still make it with that person because that's who they have in their head until that doesn't work. Okay, and they're gonna be looking for you to go and make calls and stuff, but leave them alone. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. They have to learn that lesson. They have to learn that lesson. Okay, and like I said, this is only if you wanted to go back to that person. There are some times when you don't need to go back to a person. Um, and that's when you feel when it doesn't work for you once you develop. Because sometimes you're underdeveloped, just like Krishan Rock out, Yeah, okay. So, you could tell she was underdeveloped, but she wanted that love and she was looking for it in the wrong places. Once she started development, and I don't know if it was the baby that made her change her mindset and look at things at a different pace, but boom, things begin to change. Okay? And when you take your power back, people will feel that. People always talk about energy, but they don't talk about the energy that people miss and feel that you was given to them when you were connected to them. And that's why this works so well. This is why it works so well. Okay? So you don't have to go and pry. You don't have to go and check and see. You don't have to do any of that. You don't have to do any of it. When I say any of it, I mean just that. You don't have to do any of that. Just work on yourself and be the best person that you possibly can be. So on that note, I'm going to get off of here because it's almost an hour. Hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Please stay tuned to Journey to Jerusalem. Bye.